What is going on, guys? It's Tablerd, and I am back making some more WoW videos. In this video, I'm gonna go over the every single tank tier set bonuses. Um, just because I'm a tank player, I'm trying to figure out what tank I'm gonna be playing into 9.2. It's probably gonna stay the same, but we gotta just figure out what's happening. But the first tank we're gonna go over is the Blood Death Knight tier set. Now, Blood Death Knight tier set is okay. It's not great, it's not amazing, but it's not the worst thing that I've ever seen. So the 2-set bonus is that Heartstrike increases your strength by 1%, and it increases the duration of Dancing Rune Weapon by 0.5 seconds, persisting for 10 seconds after Dancing Rune Weapon has ended. So basically, this just will, extend your Dancing Rune Weapon for a set amount of time and give you a little bit of strength. Now, that's really good because for the most part, 2-set bonuses are just some flat stat increase, flat DR, something basic, nothing really that good, but it works its way into the 4-set bonus, and both in combination is really good, and that's why tier sets were always really fun. The tier set bonuses always made you play your character a little different. That's what good tier set bonuses did. So the four tier set bonus, the 4-set. Parrying an attack causes your weapon to lash out, heart striking your attacker, which plays into, hopefully will play into the strength and the Dancing Rune Weapon, right? Because you're technically heart striking, right? So those two go together, which is a really nice combo. Not to mention that Dancing Rune Weapon now summons 2 rune weapons. This is really good. It'll allow you to have more diseases out. It'll increase Blood Death Knight's damage. Arguably increases their survivability a little more. They'll be allowed to get Bone Shield stacks way faster because now you're getting 9 stacks every Marrow Rend rather than only getting 6 when you have Dancing Rune Weapon out. So you're going to be a little bit more tanky, though it's not the greatest set. It could be better. One thing to mention is that any numbers here are gonna probably change. They always do. But the main thing we're kind of looking at, right, is does it change how you play your character? Does the tier set bonus seem interesting in itself? Because the basics of the tier set bonus are gonna stay the same, right? So, this heart strike stuff is probably going to stay the same, but this 1% will probably change. The 0.5 seconds thing will change. Persisting for 10 seconds will change. Like, that will all probably change by the time it gets released. So we're not really focusing on that part, but rather how does it change your character. So on to the Vengeance Demon Hunter. So the 2-set is damage dealt by Immolation Aura has a 10% chance to generate a Lesser Soul Fragment. That's great. Soul Cleave, Spirit Bomb, you're going to have a lot more soul fragments. It increases your survivability a little more. Just something really basic, right? 4-set, consuming a lesser soul fragment has a 100% chance to grant you 2 seconds of Immolation Aura, or extend an existing Immolation Aura by 2 seconds. Great. They work together, right? Like, that's awesome. Those two work together. Immolation Aura is up more, which means that now you're getting more lesser soul fragments, and they work hand in hand. Not to mention if you combine this with the legendary, where whenever you consume a lesser soul fragment, your Fury Brand is reduced its cooldown. Vengeance Demon Hunter's got a pretty good tier set bonus. They're gonna have Fiery Brand up more, increases their survivability. Their damage is gonna go up a little bit more, just simply because they're gonna have more soul bombs, more soul cleaves. Spirit bombs and more soul cleaves. Great tier set bonus. Like I said, the numbers and everything will probably change, but it's just the basics. How is it going to change how your character plays? Guardian Druid, interesting one. Casting Barkskin causes you to berserk for 4 seconds. Kind of bad, right? That seems kind of bad. I think if they increase this 4 seconds to, 6 seconds, 8 seconds, might be really good. It could change your Barkskin in some pulls to honestly an offensive cooldown, right? Barkskin has a really low cooldown as it is already. You're already using it a large amount of time. This will increase Guardian Druid's damage output outside of Incarnation. Not to mention, the 4-set bonus, while berserked, you radiate X% of attack power, cosmic damage to nearby enemies, and heal yourself for a certain amount every 1 second. So if you really look at this, for 4 seconds, you're berserked, you're doing cosmic damage, and you're healing yourself. That's a pretty good combo, but it's just the 4 seconds does seem really short. This bonus is also really bad if you think about it, the 4 set, because the healing part and the damage part is kind of useless when you incarnate a berserk, because if you're all guardian druids are basically running the thrash legendary as it is already. So you're already unkillable, so this healing does not matter. You're already doing insane amounts of damage, so this increased damage is like mediocre, right? Like it's just adding damage. This is kind of one of the worst ones out of the tank ones so far that we've seen. I would say that, you know, the Death Knight and Demon Hunter ones are a lot better than this one, because arguably this one it's mediocre at best, right? Like it's already making druids stronger in the point where they were already the strongest. It's making guardian druids be put more into the mass pulling when they have their cooldown scenario, and then pulling little when they don't have their cooldowns, right? A good tier set bonus would do the opposite, right? Guardian druids can still mass pull with incarnation and, you know, berserk, and then when they're outside of that, they can still do big pulls because, you know, with bark skin, right? Like say these two worked a little bit more hand in hand, then bark skin will allow guardian druid to do that outside of incarnation. That's just one of the suggestions that can kind of go, right? Can go hand in hand. Prop Paladin. Now this one, whoo. 2 set bonus. Casting Shield of the Righteous increases your block chance by 4% for 15 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So virtually you're getting 12% block on top of the block you already get from Shield Shield of the Righteous. This is making Protection Paladins even stronger than they already are. They're already a very strong tank class. They're already one of the best survivability tanks in the game right now. Not to mention that this block also helps with spell damage because just of how Shield of the Righteous works and some of the talents that Prop Paladins can run. So now they're getting more block for physical attacks and they're getting more block for magic attacks. This 2 set bonus alone is better than every other bonus that we've already talked about in this video. Like, it's insane. Now we're getting to the 4 set bonus, where blocking an attack is a 33% chance to cast Judgment at your attacker. That's insane. If you run this in Mythic Plus, you're going to be... if this does not have an internal cooldown, Prop Paladins are going to be the king of Mythic Plus next year. For the simple fact that you will be always blocking, and Judgment always gives you Holy Power, so you are going to never run out of Holy Power in any pull, because of the fact that if you have 3 mobs, right, and they all hit you, let's say, you have 3 Holy Power at that point, because you basically cast Judgment on every single one of them, and now you can Shield of the Righteous again, giving you more block, refreshing your stacks. Like, this is going to be insane for Mythic Plus. It's going to be great in Raid as well, like, just increasing Prop Paladin's tankiness, which is one of the things that they lacked. Compared to some of the other tanks, is just a great sign. On top of the fact that they already do so much damage, right? Like, this is just increasing their damage and their survivability. This bonus is probably, if not the, this is easily the best tank bonus out of all of them. Like, easily the best tank bonus. So these are probably gonna get changed. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets changed to 3 or 2%. Or if it's only stacking up to 2 times, and if this gets lowered to like 15%, or it gets an internal cooldown of like 5 seconds or like 3 seconds or something like that. Because if you did a pull of like 10 mobs, you're going to be doing so much Judgment and so much everything. Alright, next set. Alright, Protection Warrior. Alright, let's talk about this. Consuming 30 Rage grants a stack of Outbursts. Upon reaching 8 stacks of Outbursts, your next Shield Slam or Thunderclap are 200% more effective, and your next Ignore Pain is 50% more effective. Now, virtually, you can just ignore this end part here. This is pointless. Ignore Pain. You don't want this. You're never going to press Ignore Pain when you have 8 stacks of Outbursts. If you are, you're using it very inefficiently because of the fact that 200% is a massive number. Shield Slam, that's just Shield Slam and Thunderclap are going to do so much damage when you have that 200% bonus, right? You're already one of the tankier classes in the game as a Prot Warrior. You don't need to be a tiny bit more tanky. So this is a really good 2-set bonus considering it's a 2-set bonus. So for your 4-set bonus, Avatar increases your damage dealt by 10% and decreases damage taken by 10%. Avatar instantly grants you 8 stacks of Outburst. Let's talk about the 4th set bonus here, right? So Avatar increases your damage 10%. Great. It's already an offensive cooldown. Now you're getting 200% more damage on your next Shield Slam or Thunderclap. We're going back to BFA's days where Avatar and Thunderclap, were just nutty together. On top of that, it's given them a defensive, right? Like, Avatar's up a large amount of time, right? So now Avatar is just a 10% DR. That's really good, considering the fact that you're using it offensively anyway. It means that you're gonna be less likely to, cast a shield blocker, and ignore pain while you're in your Avatar because of the fact that you're taking 10% less damage. On top of the fact that it instantly, just grants you these outburst stacks. This is a really good tier set bonus. I'd say, honestly, this is probably the second best one, maybe the third best one behind the Demon Hunter one, but this is a really, really good one as well. Now we're getting to Monk. Let's get to Monk. Monk. Huh. Targets ignited by Breath of Fire deal an additional 4% less damage to you. How stupid is this? This is dog. This is terrible. This is so boring. This is just, monks get 4% extra DR. Like, what? Like, that's so boring. And so this makes you think, like, oh, let's look at the 4-set bonus. Be like, maybe they go to hand in hand. Breath of Fire empowers your next Tiger Palm or Blackout Kick, increasing shuffle duration and brew cooldown reduction by 100%. What? This means nothing. Any good Brewmaster player has shuffle up 100% of the time. You don't need increased duration. This is literally useless. This is useless text here. And this isn't good. Brewmaster Discord has already went through this, and they've done the math on the cooldown reduction. They've done the math, right? It's 1 Celestial Brew every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, you get 1 Celestial Brew, extra Celestial Brew. That's awful. This is awful. Oh my god. Not to mention that this is virtually trying to force you to play the talent Spitfire instead of your lightly brew. Your light brew. Like, this is terrible. So this honestly is probably the worst set bonus out of every set bonus that has come out, healer, DPS, and tank, because it doesn't change how you play your character, like, at all. It's just giving you a little bit more cooldown reduction that's not even that good. Shuffle duration doesn't even matter because you have that up 100% of the time anyway, and it's just like, so you're basically just getting 4% DR. That's what Brewmaster Monks got out of their tier sets right now. 4% extra DR. Like, it's awful. It's awful. If they made this like 8%, like, that's insane, right? Like, that's utterly broken. 8% extra DR, considering Breath of Fire already almost does just a tad bit more than 8%. And if they made this like 300% more cooldown reduction, right? Because then you're getting like an extra Celestial Brew like every 2 minutes. This is, get rid of this. Get rid of that entirely. Terrible. Like, oh, don't even get me started on that. But yeah, like, if they, like, I understand, like, it's just, this is lazy design. Like, the 4-set bonus here is kind of lazy design in my eyes. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just my rant over the Brewmaster 4-set bonus. But if we had to really talk about it, Prot Paladin easily has the best one. Vengeance Demon Hunter got a really good one. Warrior got a pretty good one. Death Knight got an okay one. And then, so like Death Knight, Guardian Druid, and then Monk obviously got the worst ones. But the other ones seem pretty good, But we will have to see with more PTR testing and see, which one kind of gets fixed, which ones get changed. I'm not going to be surprised if the Brewmaster one gets changed. it's kind of awful, you know. I think they put a lot of effort into the Windwalker one, trying to think of a really good one for Windwalker. The Mistweaver one's really cool, and then they just forgot about Brewmaster because that's already a great tank in the first place. It's already in a great spot, so they just, you know, they didn't want to make it stronger, I guess. I don't know. So I hope they change it. If they do change any of these majorly, I will make another video about that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next, patch 9.2 video that I make. Peace.